younger generation. And he's no one else but the senior pastor of the Covenant Nation and the convener of the platform, Pastor Poju. Oyemade. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we may all be seated. There's no need for a long story. All right. What I just want to do is that, as the vision of this particular program, I just want to share some thoughts that I got off, and I read this book many years ago. Must have been about maybe 15 years ago, and I believe that it's from reading this book, this particular theme was crystallized. And it's written, the name of the book is The Mystery of Capital, written by from Chile, economist De Soto, who was regarded, I think Bill Clinton regarded him and said this to be the greatest mind in terms of economy in the emerging economies of the world. But he said something about capitalism, and I want to read it here. He said, in this book, I intend to demonstrate that the major stumbling block that keeps the rest of the world from benefiting from capitalism is the inability to produce capital. He said, capital is defined as the force that raises productivity of labor and creates the wealth of nations. It is the lifeblood of the capitalist system and the foundation of progress. And the one thing that the poor countries of the world cannot seem to produce for themselves, no matter how eagerly their people engage in all other activities that characterize a capitalist economy. He said, I will also show, with the help of facts and figures, that my research team and I have collected block by block, farm by farm, in Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and Latin America, that most of the poor already possess the assets they need to make a success of capitalism. He said, even in the poorest countries, the poor save. The value of the savings among the poor is in fact immense, 40 times all the foreign aid received throughout the world since 1945. In Egypt, for instance, the wealth that the poor have accumulated is worth 45 times as much as the sum of all direct foreign investments ever recorded there, including the Suez Canal and the Aswan Dam. In Haiti, the poorest nation in Latin America, the total assets of the poor are more than 150 times greater than all the foreign investments received since Haiti's independence from France in 1804. You should think about that. If the United States were to hike its foreign aid budget to the level recommended by United Nations, which is 0.7% of its national income, it will take the richest country on earth more than 150 years to transfer to the world's poor resources equal to that which the poor already possess there. The problem, he said, is that they hold these resources in defective forms. Houses built on land whose ownership rights are not adequately recorded. Unincorporated businesses with undefined liability. Industries location where financiers and investors cannot see. Industries located where financiers and investors cannot see them. Because the rights to these possessions are not adequately documented, these assets cannot readily be turned into capital, cannot be traded outside the narrow local circles where the people know and trust one another, cannot be used as collateral for a loan, and cannot be used as, collateral against an investment. Charitable organizations have so emphasized the mysteries on the helplessness of the world's poor that no one has properly documented their capacity for accumulating assets. Over the past 5 years, I and 100 colleagues from 6 different nations have closed our books and opened our eyes and gone out into the streets and countrysides of 4 continents to count how much the poorest sectors of the society have saved. He said, the quantity is enormous, but most of it is dead capital. So when we talk about unlocking the capital within a nation or an organization, that is, we recognize that the solution to a nation or organization doesn't lie outside that organization or nation, but lies within it. And I must say that in this country, we have unlocked the capital in certain things. We've unlocked the capital, let's say, in entertainment. We are beginning to unlock the capital that is contained in fashion, all right? Years ago, people will not wear certain clothes. They might look down on it. But I just want to close by saying something, and that's where I knew the power of this thing. Recently, we had a conference in London, and the hotel where we used, which was Intercontinental Hotel, I was wearing an Ashoke trousers with a blazer and a white shirt. And I was in the elevator on my way to the conference center. And there were two American couples, and they looked fairly wealthy. And the man looked at me, both of them. They said, "Where did you get these trousers? Where did you get these trousers? We want these." I found it difficult to tell him exactly where I got it, because I would have had to say, we went into the market and then because he didn't understand. He said, "So which designer, where did you get this pair? Where did you get this?" I just kept saying, "Well, I bought it, I bought it, I bought it." All right? Because I couldn't go into the details of how we produce Ashoke and all of that. But he wasn't interested in the designer wears on the streets of London. He was interested in what we brought out from Africa in a way that could be appreciated by the world. And so if we are going to grow, all right, wealth, we have to learn how to unlock the capital that lies within a nation. God bless you all. And I want to thank all the speakers, all right, for taking out time from their busy schedule. These are great minds that have come together. And I will just sit down quietly and take my notes. God bless you all.